Here we go. Okay, we are here with Fernanda Liberali, one of the speakers and organizers of alternative spaces here in Flair. I want you to share a little bit of what you do and what you share here.
Okay, well, my name is Fernanda Liberali. I'm from Brazil. I work at the Catholic University of São Paulo. I am a linguist and an educator, and I'm very happy to be here in this conference because it's my first time talking to people who are very much involved with ecological issues, with restoration, with preservation, and I think that the projects that I do with the communities that I work with, they are all interconnected with what we are discussing here. And although I do what I do from the perspective of education and of how language can be organized as a tool to change reality, what we do here gives us a lot of support on how to act and how to implement innovation. So in Brazil, I work with Quilombola groups, Afro Brazilians that used to be slaves but who could escape and created their own communities, but they are very much despised by the government and society. I work with the indigenous population that live in the urban area and suffer a lot because they live in places that are worse than favelas. I work with rural people who belong to the landless groups, and they face enormous problems with a lack of land, different difficulties that are related to the fact that they are poor and they have to plant and they don't have the necessary conditions for them. And I also work with a lot of impoverished groups, communities in São Paulo, a lot of people who live in the favelas and go to free public schools in São Paulo.
Okay.
Mostly my contact with the communities are related to how the schools are organized and how they create opportunities for transformation in the community.
Okay. And can you share a little bit of your methodologies because you were invited in a special thing? Just a little
Yes.
bit. What was that?
Yeah. Well, since the beginning, when we started working with communities, we felt that just talking to people about the problems was not enough because this is very mental and people need to have a sente pensante perspective. That means that you have to use both your heart and your mind. And how to do it? Well, we started working with play because play can be a useful way for people to get connected. So when I say play, it can be a game, but it can also be a performance. It can be an artistic presentation. It can be a song. It can be a dance. Any form of expression that goes beyond the simple reflection about things. Reflecting is essential, central, and we do, but in order to do this, we depart from playing. So I was invited to come here to play with the researchers and practitioners of play, exactly to try to give this more heart related connection to the topics that are already dealt
Okay.
with here.
I understand. And is this or could be used in a scientific way? I mean, this is separated, is useful. How do you approach this?
For us, there is no separation between this. For me, play is a form of creating a chance for us to understand the problems that we are studying, we are researching about. That's a form of connecting with the communities who we are doing research with. It's a form of devising ideas on how to create solutions or possibilities for that community. And it's also a way for that community to start working on the solutions that they themselves, with our support always, created. So play is like language in many instances. It crosses all the different areas. So when we when we write in our papers, me or my students, what we do is we use a lot of playful language. We use art. We use images. We try to talk about what we do and the research that we do and the results in the same way as we act in order to create those results. So in many instances, we denounce and we announce through creating a possibility of playing with the realities that we work with and we researched
That's
about.
great. And a couple of last questions. What do you surprise yourself here, colleagues or topics here? And well, the next one will be, I'll tell you later.
Okay. Well, what really surprised me was how people are engaged with the topics they are studying. They, it's not just a question of research. It's a question of thinking that the kind of research they do is something that is strongly necessary for society. And although they know that it's very difficult that what they do can change things or can prevent the world from getting worse, they are still here fighting and trying to find ways of dealing with this, denouncing things. One thing that surprised me and is not so positive is that although people are denouncing a lot of problems and showing a lot of problems, I didn't see much about people talking about the problems created by the global north. We are all studying the global south. I didn't see any uh, presentation that would discuss forests in Europe or in the US or in the big countries that we know are mostly responsible for the problems with the ecological problems that we face. And I saw a lot of people from these places, from the global north, very interested in the questions that are being, I mean, things that are occurring in Africa, in Asia, in Brazil, in the global south. They are really involved, they are really caring in relation to these places. But I didn't see research about how the global north is contributing to solve the problem in their own place,
Okay,
in their own
I
countries. I
understand.
didn't see a research in the forest in Canada, in the
Mm-hmm.
US,
Mm-hmm.
in I don't know, France or in Belgium or whatever. I
Mm-hmm.
know, oh, they don't have it. Okay, but how can they contribute anyway? And this is something I was surprised.
Great. That was kind of my second question. Like, what was missing or you expect that could be done in the future? So I think
Ah,
that you said that.
well, I think we this was surprising in a negative way. I think I would expect people to be a little bit more critical about the big companies that exploits the forests or people who get money from those who exploit the forests and all this in all these places. But I was also I that's not a criticism, but that's something that I think that could move the conference forward. I think that we
Yeah.
have to have spaces to talk to other people, people who think differently from the way we do, because we are talking to people we love, people who have the same interest in a better world and in saving the forests and so on. We have to talk to people, not only to the small farmers or ranchers or so on who can contribute, but we have to talk to the big shots. We have to talk to people who are really destroying the world, and we have to find ways of connecting, if not to all of them, to those we know that could make a difference. We have to try to find among that group of people who we hate because they are destroying the world, those that could be partners in certain aspects,
Mm-hmm.
because the thing I keep asking myself, if we change all the things that we see in these small communities with these small groups, are we going to save the world? No, we have to change also with the big people who are really destroying our
Okay.
planet.
Thank you, Fernanda. It was
Thank
lovely.
you.
Thank you for
Thank you.